Good evening, and welcome to Wednesday Night Live Spirit, Mind, and Body Connection. I am Dr. Sharon Stroud. I am the founder of Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, where we believe there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are. And guess what? We can use it. And we are using it every single day of our lives, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. So as I welcome you, tonight is the final night of our wonderful 4 agreements. It's been just such a joy to share each agreement and how it applies to our daily life through this Toltec Ancient Wisdom by Dr. Miguel Ruiz. And as he stated, that the Toltecs were the scientific, the artistic, the community that was forwarding and advancing new energies. And I highly recommend it. It's an old classic written in the 80s and powerful, extremely, extremely powerful. So as Miss Minnie and I share with you tonight, the 4th agreement, which is do the best you can. And I'm also going to share some poetry by Keith Richmond, who wrote a beautiful book. He's just amazing. The Prince in the Garden. And he did a beautiful poetry reading and book signing. This was a few years ago. And it's called The Prince in the Garden by Keith Richmond. And as I shared each night about each agreement, Keith wrote a poem, which I'm going to share with you, on being impeccable with your word. Don't take it personally. Don't make assumptions. And tonight, do the best you can. And as you know, I set the tone for each service. And I share with you the Tibetan bells resonating to the heart chakra. Remember, the heart chakra from the ancient Sanskrit means a wheel of spinning energy in a clockwise fashion. We have 7 major chakras within this body temple. And energetically, as we make the longest journey tonight, the 18-inch journey from the head to the heart being the doorway to the soul. Where your heart is, there your treasure will be also. And I am going to share with you this chant from the Gandhi Foundation, and I invite you to just make the declaration after I make it. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that audibly, you can silently just say it to yourself. And I just want to welcome all of you who are tuning in tonight and just acknowledging on the Sharon Stroud page. I'm sorry, I cannot see the comments. I can only see them on the Interfaith New Thought Spiritual Center Palm Springs page. I see that our beautiful Rhonda is with us. Love you, Rhonda, too. And excuse me, I am going to share with you now the chant from the Gandhi Foundation. And I invite you to just take a deep cleansing breath, excuse me, as we begin. I offer you peace. I offer you friendship. I offer you love. I see your beauty. I hear your needs. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from a higher source. I salute that source in you. Come, let us work together. Come, let us work together. Come, let us work together. What I know is that right now, at this very moment, a Jew is saying her prayers, a Hindu is chanting a mantra, and a Buddhist is kneeling at her sacred shrine. Right now, at this very moment, someone is lighting a candle in a cathedral. Someone is making their Hajj toward Mecca, for it is the will of Allah. And yet someone else is lighting a fire in a jungle, repeating an ancient mystical drama. Many, many pathways up the mountaintop, and the view is always the same from the summit. In the dawning of the spiritual sun, for a moment all faiths became as one. The Buddhist, Muslim, consciously open to this energy. Yes, the Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Jew became as one and somehow knew that mystic voice that calls to me, oh, yonder, yonder person, I am thee. We are one. There is one life, and that life is common to all humanity beyond color, race, creed, sexual orientation, and oh yes, political affiliation. There is one. Our message is universal oneness, universal love, and acknowledging the power, the presence, and the energy here, right now, at this very moment. And as we move right into the 4 agreements, and we acknowledge that the first week was about being impeccable with our word. And in the science of mind tradition, we know that thoughts are things and words are molds. That which we utter becomes the outer, right? And the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart are accepted and received, because this energy decree a thing and it is established unto thee. And when you use an I am declaration, be very, very clear that what follows creates your reality. So when we say I am happy, healthy, prosperous, and free, the universe responds to that. The universe responds to that. And when we use our word in a lower vibratory frequency, I am tired, I am broke, I am this, we move into that lower vibratory frequency. And what happens when people say, oh, I am so tired, that moves down to fatigue, and fatigue moves down to what? Exhaustion. Exhaustion moves down to dis-ease. So when we say, I am regenerating, I am resting, I am recreating my energy, the universe responds to that. And when we do the best we can, we're acknowledging that there are times that our humanness is going to show up. We forgive ourselves and we recreate our experience. Now, Keith Richmond, our poet laureate of Facebook, who wrote The Prince in the Garden, he wrote the poem Agreement 1, be impeccable with your word. Like a mirror, we reflect a story. We project what we are often told. We must write a dream of living glory and share from our heart a path of gold. Remove the gossip from deep within our head, for it creates a fog like too much wine instead of a description that we dread. We must let the truer story shine. For the truth is that you are beautiful and you are perfect in every way. God's grace is ever bountiful, and it is this vision that must stay. Replace the voice of false content, because there is no one to compare. You are beauty and you are heaven sent. It is his perfection that you share. Keith Richmond, poet laureate of Facebook. And the Dr. Miguel Ruiz, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. And when you speak your word, when you decree a thing, energetically, it shows up. Thoughts are things, begins with a thought. Words are molds. They create. This is the creative energy of the universe, our word. And the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart are accepted and received. Be impeccable with your word. And I love when Keith states, replace the voice of false content, because there is no one to compare. You are beauty and you are heaven sent. It is his perfection that you share. I love that, Keith. This is so beautiful. And the second agreement was what? Don't take it personally. This is so powerful. In fact, I'm going to be featured on Sue Talks. And Sue Talks is a soul-centered platform. And it was created in 2015. And it was kind of a component to TED Talks, feeling that TED Talks were very mental. And, there's some great TED Talks out there, and we love TED Talks. However, Sue Talks takes it to the feminine and to the soul-centered platform of acknowledging that it's a spirit, mind, and body connection. And I just love the whole concept. And one of the questions that they asked me is that when you first started out, what was something that you would have loved to have embodied? And I said, I would have liked to have known, don't take anything personally. When people project on us, that's about them. Only if we have an energy charge, that's called unfinished business. And when we have unfinished business, that means that we have further work to do, right? We have further work to do when we react. And we're all part of the human condition. When our humanness gives way to the divine, the Christ consciousness arises, triumphant and victorious. The Buddha nature arises, the heart of compassion. Lord Buddha said, man, woman is the result of all that they have thought. All that we have thought, right? And that when Moses looked into the burning bush and said, who are you? What are you? The voice of I am answered, cast off your shoes, for where you stand is holy ground. And when we get that this universe is sacred, that where we stand is holy ground. And this is regardless of color, race, creed, sexual orientation, and oh yes, political affiliation. That we transcend religion. And we come into our spirituality. Remember, the world's great religions, that wonderful energy of love permeates all of it. And if we are practicing the presence of God, whatever we conceive our God to be, whatever name we put on our higher power, it matters not. But to acknowledge that which is within us is greater than that which resides in the world of conditions, in the world of effects, in the world of appearances that show up. So my younger self, and remember, I've been in the ministry 46 years this month. And I started out at 30. So you can do the math. Next month, I will be 77 on the planet, 77 years. I said 77 is heaven, right? And we fulfilled that. Because it's not about really the chronological, it's about state of mind, isn't it? It's about our state of mind. And I was in the minerals last night, and a woman asked how old my daughter was. And I said, she's 51. And she said, what? She was like blown away. It was just so great. I said, yes, my mother-in-law used to tell everybody she's not as young as she looks. She goes, but I never hear you complain. And you're always, have a smile on your face. And I said, we're at choice. And if we have a choice, to be in the minerals, to look up at the moon, to feel the energy. Yes, it's triple digits here in the desert. We can complain about that. And when people say, how are you doing? I said, we make the adjustment. We go from our air-conditioned house to the air-conditioned car, to the air-conditioned event, to the air-conditioned shop. Just as our dear brothers and sisters who are shoveling snow, we make the adjustment. We make the adjustment. Life is about making adjustments, isn't it? And when we make the adjustment, energetically, the blessings flow through. And we receive those blessings, pressed down, shaken together, and flowing over into every area of our life. And when we get that, that's truly magical. That's the miracle of life. And we allow our vision to look at what we want to experience and not project or gossip onto anyone in our energy field, right? And the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart are accepted and received. Now, the Don't Take It Personally by Keith Richmond. This is so beautiful. He says, to free ourselves, and I love this, to free ourselves from a web of pain found in the drama others create, and from this affecting us, we must refrain by taking what is said from off our plate. For when people speak in a darkened tongue or act with a careless heart, it only shows that all along they have been troubled from the start. To compensate for what they see, when they look into the mirror, they project a fog on you and me, and they cannot see any clearer. And that is so true. So walk with calm and confidence, and let your beauty shine, and tell yourself with but a glance, that stuff is theirs, not mine. Oh, Keith, this is so beautiful. And of course, Dr. Ruiz, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering, right? And I love this. So walk with calm and confidence, and let your beauty shine, and tell yourself with but a glance, that stuff is theirs, not mine. So beautiful, Keith. Don't take anything personally. It's not about us. And if we react, it's because we have unfinished business. And what happened? They hit a nerve. And when they hit the nerve, we reacted because we had unfinished business. And isn't it wonderful that the universe gives us the opportunity to handle that unfinished business, to take another look at it? And we have residue that comes up. And as the residue comes up, we take a look at it, we draw the larger circle, and we include it in who and what we are. Because this is the energy that has allowed us to be out there in the world and making a difference. Truly making a difference, right? So remember now, the third agreement was what? Don't make assumptions. And when we make assumptions, we're not serving ourselves or others, are we? We're kind of conjecturing about what's going on. And we know clarity is power. And when we make assumptions, in fact, what is the old, it's the old adage that you take the word assume, ASS-U-me. So we make an ass out of you and me when we assume, right? So when we make assumptions, it doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve to think, well, conjecture what's going on with anyone. And so what do? We learn to ask questions. And when we learn to ask questions, there's clarity. And when there is clarity, there is power. And when there is power, there is understanding. And there is a sense of our humanity and our divine connection. We're all intimately connected, aren't we? Each and every one of us. And so the agreement 3 by our poet laureate of Facebook our beautiful Keith Richmond. In the comfort of time comes a challenge for all. It's the searching for clarity in talks large and small. Even though it may be that it is English we speak, the extra question for clarity is quite a magic technique. And in not taking what we think we know for granted, we can keep from assuming and having the facts slanted. With courage, express what it is that you want and avoid sadness and drama by maintaining détente. This one agreement can free us and eliminate strife, communicate clearly, and you can transform your life. I love this. With courage, express what it is that you want and avoid sadness and drama by maintaining détente. The one agreement can free us and eliminate strife. Communicate clearly and you can transform your life. Keith, so beautiful. And what does Dr. Ruiz say? Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. All right, tonight, do the best we can. So we're not always going to be impeccable with our word, but have a trigger symbol that when that happens, you can go within and you can recreate your experience, right? We're not always, going to be at such a lofty place that we don't take things personally. There will be times, yes, that we do take things personally. And when we do, we get to what? Begin again. And to recognize it's theirs, not mine. And that with compassion, a heart of compassion also, for those that look outside themselves and to project onto others, they're not feeling the energy of who and what they are. To have a strong self-image and a sense of oneself is to have a full life, to feel that fullness spilling over onto everyone in our energy field, really. So that everyone and anyone who comes within our energy field is healed and uplifted in our presence. This is how it works. So yes, we're not always going to be impeccable with our word. We begin again. We're at times going to take things personally. We begin again. There are times when we will make assumptions. And the universe calls upon us to what? Begin again. But if we are doing the best we can, and we are opening the space to allow God to do what God does best by means of each and every one of us who hear that call and answer. Before they call, I will answer. And while they're yet speaking, what? I will hear. Blessed are they who have ears that hear, right? Who have eyes that see through the appearances, the conditions, and the effects of life to the soul of humanity. And that soul is that perfection and divinity within us. When I was presenting in India, what was so beautiful is that everyone, namaste, and they would put their hands in prayer and say namaste. In other words, the divinity within me salutes the divinity within you. There is no English word no word in the English language that really says namaste. The divinity within me salutes the divinity within you. And it's so profound and so amazingly heart-opening when you hear that namaste, that I see you and really I love you in our connection, right? So we do the best we can, right? We do the best we can. And our poet laureate, Keith Richmond, Agreement 4, The love and calm you most deserve comes from deep within each day. Just be kind to you and do your best. Do not judge in any way. Your best will change with health and stress at any given time. Simply do your best. Do not regret, and you will free the heart and mind. Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to experiencing dis-ease. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Just do your best. And remember that our best is going to change from moment to moment. From in the morning where we feel, this amazing energy and we feel refreshed, to the evening when it's time to retire, to regenerate, to recreate our energy. The love and calm you most deserve comes from deep within each day. Just be kind to you and do your best. Do not judge in any way. Your best will change with health and stress at any given time. Simply do your best. Do not regret. And you will feel, and you will free the heart and mind. And you will free the heart and mind. Keith Richmond, Poet Laureate of our Facebook community, the author of The Prince in the Garden. Thank you so very much that as he listened to the 4 weeks of the 4 agreements, that each night he would share a poem and private message me. And they are just so beautiful. So I am going to post these beautiful poems on the Interfaith page so that any of you that would like copies of them, they'll be available for you. We're all doing the best we can, aren't we? And we have to have compassion for ourselves as well as for each other, and to acknowledge that we're in the world to live, to love, to laugh, to express, to weep when we need to weep, right? And to acknowledge there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we are using it. And that we have the awareness, we make the adjustment, and we keep doing the very best we can. So you know that I complete every Wednesday Night Live Spirit, Mind, and Body connection with a spiritual treatment. Remember, a spiritual treatment is a positive prayer of alignment. And it's not begging or bargaining an anthropomorphic God sitting on a throne with a long white flowing beard and a little black book saying, okay, that's 2. It's a power. It's a presence. It's an energy within us and everywhere present, as above, so below, as within, so without. So I ask you to post your prayer request. I want to acknowledge Julian Paul Hernandez, who's been with me several years. I love you. I appreciate you. And he has posted, we always like to know where you're from, where you're viewing from, your prayer requests. And if you feel moved to donate, Julian has posted ways that you may do that. And we have like this little ticker tape of our PayPal account going on the screen. And it's been an amazing, amazing journey. I want you to know that we have not been able to receive a physical offering in over a year. March 22nd, 2020 was the last time that we were in the Lieberman Chapel. And now that Palm Springs has opened up, we are evaluating, truly evaluating that we're going to keep our online ministry because we have certain, as our bookkeeper Ken Aller says, fixed expenses, monthly expenses. And we've been able to meet those, but to add an extra $1,000 in a rental for Sunday services is just not going to happen. And you know what? Life unfolds the way life unfolds. And so we open the space for recreation, regeneration. We know that God is our source, and that we bless every avenue and channel in which our good flows. So please just join with me tonight as we acknowledge together that there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect, and that life is our life right here and right now. It is nearer than our breathing. It is closer than hands and feet. It is the life of our life. It is the essence of our being. All that we are is this God-created stuff. God in us, God as us. God is the only truth of us. And let us declare that which needs to be healed is healed. That which needs to be revealed is revealed. That which needs to be known is known. And that which needs to be released is released quickly, gently, and with grace. For eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of humanity the things which God hath prepared for them that love. Love being the strongest healing power in the universe. And I want to add, if there's anyone viewing here tonight that possibly cried themselves to sleep last night, no, you are not alone. The love of God surrounds you. The light of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. That wherever you are, God is. This is the truth for you and with you. And I also know that all cause, effect, record, and memory of that which no longer serves returns to its native nothingness from whence it came. Any plant which the Heavenly Father hath not planted is rooted up and returned to its native nothingness from whence it came. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this way of life, for the recognition that we are in the world and of a higher vibratory frequency. We are so grateful that as we send out this word, it returns in full-blown expression of that which has been sent forth on this glorious, glorious night. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you again, and I want to acknowledge Marlene is with us. And for those of you that are on the other pages, I can only see the comments that are on the Interfaith page. So we are just so very, very grateful. I do want to acknowledge, and Keith Richmond will love that we have a special acknowledgement from Rhonda. I love the poem. And yes, we will put the poems on the Facebook Interfaith page for you, and each one of them. And Keith is just very happy to share them, and has a wonderful, wonderful family and a beautiful wife, Kathleen, and they've actually traveled from Valencia, California to Palm Springs on occasion, which has been wonderful. And so I want to acknowledge, yes, Rhonda, we definitely we will be posting that. And then our Prince Fleet is with us, and we want to acknowledge that he was on the other page. And I just apologize. I don't know how to access those comments. And thank you, Rhonda, dear. God's blessings be with you as well, and each and every one of you. And again, Marlene, thank you for being with us tonight, and all of you that have tuned in and are supporting Interfaith Spiritual Center worldwide, where we believe it's a divine idea in the mind of God whose time has come. The time is now, and the place is right where we are. So as I say to you, namaste, the divinity within me salutes the divinity within you, and the divinity within you salutes the divinity within me. And if I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there is only one of us. Namaste. Shalom, the peace that passes all understanding. And God bless us, every single one. Thank you so much for supporting our ministry. for allowing this message of universal love and oneness to go out into the airwaves and transform lives. And believe me, in the 46 years of my ministry, I have seen and experienced and borne witness to some amazing transformations, including my own. And I came into this way of life at 22 years old. In fact, I was taking classes, and I was with Child during the Science of Mastery 2. And so my daughter says, it's just like this way of life is just like brushing one's teeth, she says, because it's within her. And when we embody this way of life, it's just within us. And when it's within us, everyone and anyone that comes within our energy field is healed and uplifted in our presence. And that makes all the difference. And thank you, our beloved Reverend Fleet, Prince Fleet. This Sunday, we're going to, I've been doing The Wizard Within and taking the mythological energies of the Wizard of Oz and how it applies to our daily life. And it's been great, wonderful. Fleet has been amazing with his songs and honing everything in to fit the message, which he always does. And we're just so grateful for that. And then Julian has been coming in to moderate, and we just love you and thank you for that. And all of you who are part of our virtual community, just know that I love you. I am grateful for you. And guess what? Miss Minnie and I, we will be back next week. And I am so grateful and so deeply, deeply moved by each and every one of you. And so it is. Bye-bye for now.